May Allah reward you, inshaAllah. Alhamdulillah. Salatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. نستعينه ونستغفره ونسأله الكرامة فيما بعد الموت لنا ولجميع المؤمنين، ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا، من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وبعد، قال الله تعالى عز وجل في الكتاب الكريم: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم: هو اجتباكم وما جعل عليكم في الدين من حرج. وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم، وهذا الحديث عن ابن عباس رضي الله عنهما، قيل لرسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: أي الأديان أحب إلى الله يا رسول الله؟ قال: الحنفية السمحة. كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. Respected brothers, youth, children, dear sisters, and our esteemed elderly, Muslims today, just like any other people, face challenges in raising their children, externally and internally. Externally, due to secularization, liberalism, ethical emancipation, social media, and internally, often due to inability or having lack of knowledge of how to deal with their children, and many other issues related to different gaps, be it cultural or otherwise. So parents do face some challenges in raising their children in today's time, especially in societies where we feel we are like a minority. One of the challenges that we face as parents are certain misconceptions in the heads of many of our youngsters. Misconceptions such that Islam is a rigid, inflexible, that Islam is complicated and complex religion. That's what some of our youth would tell us. If that's the case, and it seems for some it is, then one approach that could help and assist parents and the community is to remove these misconceptions from their head, from their lives, by introducing our deen as a deen of ease and deen of moderation, deen of logic. Of course, how could we introduce if we are not well equipped religiously as parents, if we do not know enough about our deen? How could we introduce our deen to them if we are not using wisdom in introducing our deen to them? And how could we, if we don't show them practically what our deen means to us and how much it is relevant in our lives? And that's the reason why God Almighty told us, in general terms, when you are inviting people to your deen, and this is to all, including your own children, including your own family members, your own friends, ud'u ila sabili rabbika bil hikmah wal maw'izati al hasana wajadilhum billati hiya ahsan. When you call them with wisdom, with good advice. وَجَادِلْهُمْ بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ. And if it comes to that level, that there is a conflict, treat them in the best possible manner. Don't go on their level. Be better than them. 3 weeks ago, I delivered the khutbah on Islam is a natural path. And in that khutbah, I stated that anything natural is easier. And when Islam is presented as an easy, simple, not complicated path, human nature would gravitate towards it. Human nature would gravitate towards it. And when human nature gravitates towards it, Allah is close to us. We are close to Allah. And when we are close to Allah, we would have internal peace, personally, individually. And when we have internal peace, and when we build internal peace, harmony will be created in the community and the society. However, if Islam is being seen, portrayed, presented as usr, as a difficult system, difficult path, complicated path, as often we do, it causes people to gravitate away from it, specifically youngsters. That's the reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to teach Muslims that Islam is a simple and easy way. To have an evidence for such a statement that Islam is easy and simple way, let us go into primary sources and secondary sources as well. Primary sources meaning Quran and the Sunnah, and secondary scholarly opinions. And you would see exactly what I'm trying to say. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comforts us by continuously reassuring us that He desires ease for us, not difficulty. يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرِ وَلَا يُرِيدُ بِكُمُ الْعُسْرِ. Even when talking about ibadah, fasting, prayer, we can see concessions that Allah has given to us. Easy way of dealing with a challenge. For example, a traveler joining prayer, shortening the prayer. Non-fasting if difficult, some would fast, and so on and so on. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says and confirms and affirms, Huwa ijtabakum. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen you. He has created you. He knows you. He knows your nature. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows your limits. He knows your abilities. Huwa ijtabakum. And because of that, وَمَا جَعَلَ عَلَيْكُمْ فِي الدِّينِ مِنْ حَرَجٍ. He did not impose anything impossible in your faith. Anything that you cannot handle, that you cannot do. Our Prophet, peace be upon him, as well, in many ahadith, very clearly outlined that Islam is easy. In one of his ahadith, and we'll talk about it inshallah, he said, إِنَّ الدِّينَ يُسْرٌ. Your deen is ease. And when he was asked, Ya Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, أَيُّ الْأَدْيَانِ أَحَبُّ إِلَى اللَّهِ. Which of deens, of religions are the best? He said, الْحَنَفِيَّةُ السَّبْحَةُ. Subhanallah, monotheism, pure monotheism, that is easy. Faith that is easy for people. No difficulties. Many previously mentioned ayat and hadith very clearly indicate to us that if Islam is easy, and Prophet Muhammad told companions that Islam is easy, then we should teach others that Islam is easy. In sharing message with companions, Muhammad was advised in the Quran, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, فَبِمَا رَحْمَةٍ مِنَ اللَّهِ لِنْتَ لَهُمْ. It is the grace and mercy of Allah that you have been merciful to them. Ya Rasulullah. With grace, mercy of Allah. وَلَوْ كُنْتَ فَضًّا غَلِيظَ الْقَلْبِ. If you were harsh-hearted, if you didn't have kindness, if you didn't deal with them in an easy manner, لَنْفَضُّوا مِنْ حَوْلِكَ. They would have all dispersed from amongst you. They will not listen to you. They will not be around you. That's the reason why I always suggest to myself and to all parents, if you are not kind to our kids, if you don't show them kindness, there are many agencies, there are many individuals out there who are very kind. Once when you lose our kids, we cannot blame anybody but ourselves. Prophet, peace be upon him, was prophet of mercy. And he showed that mercy specifically to vulnerable, those like children, and sometimes women in the society. If an individual is seeking to purify himself or herself and places greater demands on himself or herself, that's okay. That's their choice. This in no way could mean that they can impose it on the other people. Not all of us are on the same level of Islamic understanding, and not all of us do have the same abilities. How do we know that? Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he was reading prayer by himself, he would prolong it as much as he would like to. When he would lead people, he would make it short. Abu Hurairah narrates that a man, as well as Abu Mas'ud radiallahu anhuma, that a man came to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said, Ya Rasulullah, I don't come for Fajr, I come late, because so and so prolongs in the prayer. And Ravi said, I have never seen Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam so much agitated as in that moment. He was furious. And he said, إِذَا صَلَّى أَحَدُكُمْ لِلنَّاسِ فَلْيُخَفِّفْ. If one of you leads people in prayer, make it easy. Make it simple. Don't go too long. فَإِنَّ مِنْهُمْ الضَّعِيفِ وَالسَّقِيمِ وَالْكَبِيرِ وفي رواية أخرى ذَا الْحَاجَةِ. Because among them, there are those who are weak, they are old, and they are sick, and there are those who are in need. Maybe they need to go to the washroom. Maybe wife told them, I need this for lunch to be made. Or a boss is telling them, you need to come on time for a meeting. There is a need out there. If you do that, as Prophet peace be upon him said, if you do that, that's not appropriate. وَإِذَا صَلَّى أَحَدُكُمْ لِنَفْسِهِ فَلْيُطَوِّلْ مَا شَاءَ. But if one of you leads prayer by himself or herself, do as long as you want. Do as long as you want. So, if you really then think about this notion of easiness for others, specifically our children, when they are bombarded with many agencies to go their path, we have to look into this beautiful hadith. And Ibn Malik radiallahu anhu قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, when he said to Mu'adh ibn Jabal وأبو موسى الأشعري, when he sent them to Yemen as his ambassadors, يَسِّرًا وَلَا تُعَسِّرًا. Facilitate for people, make it easy for them. Do not make it difficult. Do not make it impossible. And then he said, وَبَشِّرًا وَلَا تُنَفِّرًا. Give glad tidings. Don't scare people. Give them hope. Don't scare them. They're already scared. Give them hope. What Prophet peace be upon him wanted to tell us here, and I don't want this to be misunderstood. He didn't say that we can make it easy in terms of thawadi, those compulsory things. He didn't tell us, no, if you cannot pray, your Fajr, don't pray your Fajr. No, this is not the case. Case here is, do not overdo things. Example, voluntary actions, sunnah. At the night, you pray whole night, and then tomorrow you are not able to wake up for Fajr. Or you do fast during the day and then pray during the night, and you are not able to do your responsibilities towards your family and your children, towards your job. That's exactly what Prophet peace be upon him wanted to tell us. Don't overdo it. Another hadith gives us more deeper meaning of what Prophet peace be upon him wanted to tell Mu'adh ibn Jabal and Abu Musa al-Ash'ari. He said, as Abu Hurairah narrates, "Inna ad-dina yusrun." Deen is ease. وَلَنْ يُشَادَ الدِّينَ أَحَدٌ إِلَّا غَلَبَ. And whoever tries to make it hard, it will take better out of them, or they will not be able to continue that way. Because human nature, it cannot continue that way. It's almost like having a horse to the desert. You have a goal and you run with the horse, you don't give rest to the horse, you don't give water, that animal is going to collapse very soon. Our nature, human nature, cannot go that distance. We have to go easy on ourselves. And further hadith stretches even farther that we understand. Our Prophet Muhammad said, as Aisha radiallahu anha narrates or tells, ما خير رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم بين الأمرين إلى اختار أيسرهما ما لم يكن إثما. Whenever Prophet peace be upon him was given alternatives of two choices, he would choose easier under one condition, as long as it was not sinful action. He would choose easier as long as it was not sinful actions. In the context of our discussion, talking about our children being bombarded with things that we don't like them to experience, to have in their lives, we want them to be comfortable Muslims. We want them to be proud of who they are. We want them to be pragmatic. We want them to be skillful. We want them to be present in the society and the community. If you want them to be like that, Prophet peace be upon him is telling us, be easy with them, guide them. And these are some of the lessons that we can learn from all the hadith that we have said 3 weeks ago and today. Lesson number 1, best religion is religion that gives ease to people. Al-Hanafiyyah Samha, basically easy, that is not overdoing things and then obstructing ourselves with priorities. Number 2, Allah does not expect of you and I to be perfect. All of us do have shortcomings. And the best of those khatta'in, all of us meaning, are those who make tawbah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What Allah expects of us is kabad, strife and struggle, that we try to do the best what we can. And score whatever we can. Results are in His hands. Number 3, do little deeds but consistently. Don't do it once. Don't do it once in a lifetime and then you forget about it. أحب الأعمال إلى الله أدومها وإن قل. The most loved deeds to Allah are those done consistently, even if they are small. And the last, have positive hopes in Allah's mercy. It was narrated by Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, who said, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال الله عز وجل أنا عند ظن عبدي بي. I am as my servants think of me. If you think that He is merciful, you'll get the mercy. If you think that He is punishing, you will get what you think about. وتوب إلى الله واستغفر الجميع إن رسول الله كان يتوب إلى الله واستغفره في اليوم 100 مرة. ألا إن أحسن الكلام وأبلغ النظام كلام الله الملك العزيز العلام كما قال الله تبارك وتعالى في نظم الكلام وإذا قرئ القرآن فاستمعوا له وأنصتوا لعلكم ترحمون. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الدين عند الله الإسلام. الحمد لله حمدا كاملا والصلاة والسلام على رسولنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين تعظيما لنبيه وتكريما لفخامة شأن شرف صفيه. وقال عز وجل من قابل مخبرا وآمرا إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. وبارك على محمد وعلى محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. Oh Allah, we ask of you to make us of those who would help our children to strengthen their Islamic identity in this part of the world, in this century. We ask of you, Ya Rabb, that you make it easy for them, feasible for them. We ask of you, Ya Rabb, that you be an example to them, that you be of those who teach our kids not just by words, but by practice, by our actions, by our example. We ask of you, Ya Rabb, to make us of those who will be saved and save all of humanity from pandemics. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون وأقيموا الصلاة.
الله أكبر.